been studying teenagers a lot recently. Not like that, don't let the mustache fool you. Seriously, but I've been studying because I used to think teenagers were the scariest thing in the world. Like if you were to ask me, would I rather walk into a lion cage wearing a pork chop necklace or go into a King Soopers down the road from a high school at about 3:30 when class gets out? 10 out of 10 times I'm going with the lion cage and the pork chop necklace for a couple reasons. Like I said, A, teenagers, scary as shit. B, not allowed within 100 yards of a high school anymore. The law made the choice for me. But if you'll catch what I said I used to think teenagers were the scariest thing in the world. Now, I think teenagers are big pussies. Teenagers have something these late to the show. Teenagers these days have something these days called test strips. And what they're doing is they're testing their drugs before they take them to find out if they're legit. When I was a teenager, test strips were named Daniel. And that was our least favorite friend. We would just give him the drugs and wait about 30 minutes before we would take them. He's doing all right, I think. But that just shows what a good kid I was growing up. I was also a bad student in high school. On Sunday nights when we would have homework from the weekend, rather than buckle down and do my homework, I would head up to my room Sunday night and pray that I woke up ill the next morning. And it never happened. Every morning I would wake up and I had an opportunity Monday morning to just sit down and finally do the homework. But instead, back to prayer. Dear God, it's Patrick. You must not have got my last message because I woke up fine this morning. But if you get this, I swear, it's the last thing I will ask. Please let me get hit by a bus on my way to school today. Never happened. So every Monday morning I'd be sitting in class pissed off, looking around, counting the students, 29 when there should be 30. I'd lean to the girl next to me and go, hey, where's Daniel? She'd go, he's out for the day, he took some bad drugs. And I would be so jealous that nobody used me as a test strip. But I hated being young. I really did, because you're powerless. You have no choices, right? And they're all made for you. Like I would go to Fantastic Sam's or Cost Cutters, and I'd be sitting there, and my mom would be thumbing through the haircut catalog. She'd pick the worst one she could find. Barbara would call me up. I'd be sitting in the chair, and she'd go, he'll take the L7. Bitch, I don't remember saying I want the L7. And even the barber would look at her and go, really? Like they knew that was in there as a joke. But my mom would insist, give him the L7. And every time we would be leaving, my mom would look at me and go, who's my handsome little boy? But I knew what that L7 looked like on this dome. I wasn't anyone's handsome boy. But I learned later in life that what my mom was doing was she was trying to help me. She was trying to protect me. She thought if all of the little girls in elementary school laughed at me and none of them wanted to hang out with me, pedophiles would feel the same way. Pretty solid idea, too, because I grew up in the Catholic Church. For some of you that aren't laughing, I can help you. What had happened was some of the priests believed that they were Boy Scout leaders for a long time. So dangerous place to grow up. I wouldn't recommend it, is what I'm saying. I'm really glad 2022 is wrapping up. It's coming to an end. It was a long year. The worst part of the year for me had to have been the Olympics. You guys remember the Olympics? I know it was a long time ago, but back in February, if you don't remember, the Olympics, they were putting, the media was just showing the images on TV of the Great Wall of China. Kept showing them and showing them and showing them. At a certain point, enough! Quit showing us other people's walls if we can't build our own. It's all right, I can say that. I'm Mexican. And I am all for building the wall. Yeah. Not to keep all Mexicans out, just my family. Or at least slow them down significantly. I cannot have another Raul at my birthday party this year. But it's 2022, so I wanted to make sure I was okay when I said those jokes, because people can get really sensitive these days, right? Imagine if I wasn't Mexican and I said that. Canceled. Immediately. So I took a DNA test. Turns out I am 100% that bitch. I can make jokes about Mexicans. I learned I can also make jokes about mailmen, as I am one half my family's mailman. Big shout out to USPS for fucking up my family. And bigger shout out to 23andMe for letting me find out. So I was pulling into park here earlier today, and the only place to park was in front of that adult bookstore. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with adult bookstores, but they sell like lingerie, dirty DVDs, double-ended swords, shit like that. And as I was pulling in, there was a gentleman walking out with a very large shopping bag, and he starts staring at me. So I start staring at him, he's staring at me. I'm wondering, why is he staring at me like he's the one that just walked out of that store? So I think in my grown-ass head, I go, I gotta fight this dude. And as I go to get out of my car, I have a moment of clarity. I stop and I think to myself, I am not ready for this fight. I am not mentally prepared to get smacked by whatever he has in that shopping bag. I learned I'm a fat kid trapped inside this body the other day. Tough lesson to learn, but I learned it as I was pulling up to a stoplight. There was a car in front of me with a sticker on the back that said, "Fuck poutine." And I got unreasonably mad. I went on a 5-minute rant to my fiance. Fuck poutine. No, fuck this dude. Clearly this dude has never tried poutine. If he would have tried poutine, he wouldn't say these things about poutine. After a 5-minute rant, my fiance stopped me and looked at me and said, "Jesus, you're an idiot." That sticker said, "Fuck Putin." So I learned I'm a fat kid trapped inside this body, and I can't read. I'm going to leave you guys with a little bit of information about me before I get out of here. My name is Patrick S., and I've never shot a gun before, but I have been hunting a couple of times, and I'm starting to think that my lack of firearm knowledge really affected my weapon choice. Don't quote me on it, but I don't think a Subaru Outback was the best choice to take out those deer. Either time. My name has been Patrick S. You guys have been awesome. Thank you very much.